And I'm just back here dancing because that is what I do. I am so glad that you guys are here. I am Joanne Johnson, the host of The Tipping Point. Thank you guys for coming. You know that I love you. I also love all of the fantastic guests that I have that come on the show. Tonight is no different. We have the amazing actor and author, Chad Dudley, who is starring in a role that we're going to talk about in the new dramatic miniseries, We Five, that is being produced and directed and shot in many locations within South Carolina. Now, it is being shot in other parts of the country, but we're kind of excited that a lot of it is being done here in South Carolina. So without further ado, let me bring on my friend, Chad Dudley.
Hello, Joanne. How are you today?
If I was any better, you know what they say, we're lucky. How lucky, Chad, do we feel to be able to do what we do?
It's definitely enjoyable and keeps us busy.
Well, and speaking of busy, you just got back. You guys were just in Charleston,
Yes.
Just not long ago. And let's see, you are shooting in Easley. You're shooting. I know we had Ellie Connard on, and she was very gracious and shared the vision of We Five with us. And she was saying some of it was shot in Pennsylvania. Is that right?
That is correct. There's a number of states that sections of the TV series is being shot in, and I'm just pleased to be able to bring some of it right here to the upstate of South Carolina. So I've been here. I've been in Easley since 1976. So I love this area.
Yeah, and before we even jump into your part rather in We Five, let's talk about you, the actor and the author. I really want to go back to the very beginning where everything started, how you decided. First of all, let's take it piece by piece.
All right.
Did you start writing first, or were you acting first?
I was actually acting first. Back from days of grade school here, I used to be on a TV show that was broadcast in Greenville, South Carolina, Monty's Rascals, with the famous Monty Dupuis, who I believe is no longer with us. And then I started doing television commercials. About the time I started moving into high school, I was doing a American Federal Bank commercial with the black sheep, and then it was later I started writing. And I've penned out now about 3 novels, and I'm pleased that one of them is hopefully going to make it to the screen soon. So,
and which one is that?
That'll be the first one I wrote, which is called The Next.
Okay, good, because I didn't know if you were allowed to say it
at my house. So you always start with your basic foundations of where you are. So
yeah, I knew what it was, Chad, but I didn't know if I should say it or not. So I wanted you to say it. You're good. Well, talk to us about that book. Share a little bit, and what's the synopsis of it?
It sort of relates to me, in younger working days. I'd worked for hotels for a number of years and stuff, and so it's a story about a young man who's working in a hotel, busy city, always surrounded by his friends, wanting him to do things, and he's just in search of a simpler life. And so he thinks he's found it, browsing classified ads, to come to a more quieter place, and take on a more simple job. And he finds out that he's just now gotten wrapped up in a world of trying not to give away, just of incredible mystery.
Yeah. And
finding out later that he was actually replacing someone who was there for the same thing before. And so I titled it The Next, because he ends up finding out he was the next.
Okay. Now, are you going to stay tight to the book when you shoot this film, do you think, or are you going to change a little bit?
I've been talking to some great people, and especially Jason Shirley, who's just an amazing director and screenwriter as well. And I'm kind of extending some, full, creative rights on this. However, I will like to maintain as advisor to maintain the integrity of several of the scenes, which I feel like is key, to how I wrote it.
Yeah, and you're right. Jason Shirley is a great guy. He is very full of energy, very, very good at what he does. And for those maybe who don't know Jason Shirley, of course, he was involved and produced the show or the movie Elbow Grease. And so, and yeah, great.
I was pleased to be a part of that.
And you were, yes, yes. What are some of the other things you've done? I mean, you have done commercials, like you said, but you've done some films as well. But We5 is not the first, thing that you've.
No. I've done a number of television shows and stuff. I did a thing for PSI, who was down and they did like a whole special for ghost hunting, for like the entire week of Halloween, which finally it aired the finale, Halloween night, which was fantastic, and some great people with it. Being in this industry, and especially here in South Carolina, you find that there is incredible talent.
Yes.
Wonderful producers, incredible directors, incredible actors, and just this past week, as far as working with the Week 5 TV series, it is such a great team, because we have like musicians, we've got comedians, we've got actors, just a nice blend of, all the talent, that's all right here in the area. And just to have it all nice in one housing, is really making it work out nice.
It's a tremendous team. And you're right. It's very well-rounded. And I know, Brandon Rainwater being a comedian, and he's also been given a small role, I guess. No, I shouldn't say small role, but he's become somewhat of a writer.
He's got a good role.
I don't mean the role in the film. I meant as far as writing.
Yeah.
And so, which is cool, because, he was on the show last week, and we were talking about his role as a writer and how he was brought on to give a little bit of levity to it, so that it didn't become something dark. Because with this kind of an episodic, it could go that way if you wanted it to. But so he was really excited to be able to pitch in some of the comedy and stuff.
Yes, I'm just so pleased from just all the different inputs, from everybody, which is just all making this work out nice.
Yeah. And then, of course, Ellie Kennard, who is a dancer by trade. And then she, created the film. And she said that I met with her, and she said she's doing some dancing in the picture as well. Is she kind of keeping you guys on your toes and making sure that you
I've been busy, I've been very, very pleased to have hosted them all here at my house, especially Eric and Eliza Roberts, for the evening.
Yes.
Ellie's been staying with me here down from Pennsylvania for the past week. We've just been kind of handling some behind the scenes stuff, and but it's keeping me busy.
I have no doubt, my friend. Let's talk about you, though, as an actor. So, what drives you when you're acting? This is like in your blood, right?
It's really, it's looking for the character that that you connect with. And then you want to build and develop that character, so it's kind of, because most actors always say, oh, well, I can take on any role or anything. You can, but it kind of is helpful too, when you really put your concentration on looking over scripts and characters to think, this is someone who I could totally develop that character, to where then, it's hard to replicate.
Yeah. What is a role that you would find yourself drawn to?
I'm actually like, I like to play the older, sinister characters, like the old man, like looking out the window at the neighbors next door, or someone who's the creepy character, who may be like, overhearing conversations and seeing what's going on, wherever it is. So I kind of like taking it's a step back from the main action happening, but I'm the one witnessing it. I'm the one who's seeing something that the other people are not seeing. So
right.
That's kind of just if you're asking for a character I long for, that's kind of
Well, no, Chad, because people we're drawn to certain things.
Yes.
How you were trained or whatever. Like for me, I mean, I do like the British dialect kind of thing. I do the total.
Yeah.
the brat of a woman. Let's just call her that. And I do a really good psychotic person. So I don't know if I can be concerned with that. But we all do that kind of thing. You know, we gravitate toward whatever for whatever reason.
We do, and you're always constantly developing. You know, you're always constantly learning. You're taking everything into consideration and taking into account, you know, your location, who you're with, the scene, the weather, you know, what you're doing at the time, and everything like that. And each role, you know, is just its own recipe, and you're just and you're making it taste good and look good.
Do you ever find it challenging at all to come out of character?
Only when you have kind of basically succumbed to the character becoming you and you becoming the character, then the two blend to where then you can then incorporate a bit of yourself in outside the box as far as the person that you're portraying, and it's just showing another side a little bit, you know, which is actually a part of you that you're bringing into that character when you're doing it.
Yeah. And sometimes you'll see someone has had to gain 50 pounds for a role or lose 100 pounds for a role. And
those are just aesthetics. But it does make a difference. Yes.
Yeah. So what is your favorite thing about acting? If you had to choose one thing, what would it be?
That would almost be an impossibility to answer, because I actually just really, really enjoy all of it. I enjoy all the aspects of filming too, as far as producing, directing, behind the scenes, you know, casting, you know, just really, because it's you're crafting, you know, a piece of art.
Yep.
And so it's actually really good, you know, to kind of view all those different aspects rather just in front of the camera, so that you see all of the inner workings is what's making this, you know, just something really fantastic.
So, right. And so with your being an author and an actor and the producing, the directing, all of that, you could very easily shift into any role. So you would never get bored, I would imagine.
Oh, no, I guess it's like I used to tell friends of mine, I kill people in my novels, so I'm constantly thinking of new and interesting ways to kill them. But yeah, it really, me being an author, I really take a important, serious approach to scripts, as opposed to maybe someone who does not write or anything, and they're just wanting to focus on the character part that they're looking at and try to draw from it. And I'm looking at the entire story, and I'm looking at how that character piece will interweave and interact then with everything else, and just the general storyline in itself. So, oh yeah, it all just is exciting and interesting to me.
It really is, though, and it gets my juices flowing. I'm just listening to you. I'm like, yeah, I love every single thing that you're talking about.
Yeah, just makes you want to get your hands in there and, like, you know, just and do something that you haven't.
Seriously. And I talk to other writers too. And when they take a book, a novel, and they start casting for these things and watching their vision go from paper to the screen, talk about what that feels like for you.
This kind of goes back to what basically influenced me. One of my relatives in Georgia, who had just recently passed away, I believe this past year, Terry Kay, a very well-known author in Georgia. I think he was in the Georgia Hall of Fame as well. He wrote books like After Eli, The Year the Lights Came On. He wrote To Dance with the White Dog, which then was put into production with Hugh Cronin and Jessica Tandy, I believe, who starred in that. I believe it won a Hallmark Hall of Fame award. Wow. And he used to always send me a signed first edition of each one of his books growing up. And so that's kind of influenced me, not only getting the books and reading them for me to write myself, but then also seeing his going into production. And him being a family member of mine, and I'm having the book before it ever hits screen or anything. That's why it's just kind of exciting to me now, also being a writer, but having been an actor for a good while now. I do see now the opportunity of the writing and the acting coming together. You know?
Isn't it a beautiful thing?
It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. And to be able to impact people too. This is a different way of impacting people, and you're making a difference. And we talk about comedians and how they make people laugh during good times and bad. When there's a film, maybe people they escape into that. Maybe they have things going on in their life, and it's a form of escapism for a lot of people, right?
Yeah, it's touching on emotions with you. I'm wanting to draw an emotional response out of you, and to have that blend of characters, you know, like comedians and musicians and dancers and all that. I'm going to hit you with different approaches, you know, to stimulate you, you know, and for that emotion, you know. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, and it's amazing, and I don't know that maybe everybody thinks about it in those terms, but it's the absolute truth. You know, we watch a movie and we're sitting here sobbing, and we've fallen in love with the character, and then the character dies, and then we felt like we did, you know,
Yes.
or you know, it's the coolest thing ever to do what you do. And same thing
It's
with you with
placing yourself as the architect. It's I'm wanting to take you on a ride. I'm going to take you on an adventure, and I'm going to lead you here, and I'm going to lead you here, and I may let you peek down alleys or take you down them or anything like that. But it's literally just taking you on a journey, and I'm going to be testing your senses, and I'm going to be testing your memory along the way. If you can remember certain things that happened early on, to where maybe then you could figure it out in the end. And I want to trigger all the emotional responses, you know, along the way. So it's a full adventure.
Exactly. Well, let's move into We Five. So this is something that you've got in the works right now. It is in production. It is a dramatic mini series. Talk to me about your role as Captain Morgan.
I was very pleased to be approached with from Ellie to be a part of it. The script was wonderful, which she already has like quite a number of episodes of the entire show already written. I was originally going to take a different role in the We Five, but then I got to looking over it, and as far as the area of where I'm at and the times for filming and stuff like that, I thought it would work out much better for me to change my character role to Captain Morgan in this. Love the character. It kind of fits along the lines of what I was telling you about earlier, that I like, you know, someone who knows something, but I'm not giving anything away yet. So, but that's kind of where we're at now. We had a fantastic shoot in Charleston, which of course we've been filming here in the upstate for weeks. But an incredible cast, incredible production company. Javon and Russell is absolutely wonderful, which I've worked with them before on 2 previous movies.
Yes. Yes, you guys are teaming up again, working on something too. Is that right?
Yes, and I was so pleased to have them, you know, to come aboard with the We Five, you know, just from having worked with them before and stuff, and great people. And I just think it's really going to take off. There's just too much good from all different kinds of areas involved, all in this one pot.
Yeah. And for those who have not tuned into this show, The Tipping Point, yet, We Five, again, is a dramatic miniseries that is in production. And the basis of the show is about 5 people who, by way of lottery, were chosen to run the country, right?
Yes. It's basically where the democracy of the government is being handed over to the people. And there will be 5 people selected by national lottery, chosen to run the country. And I believe that the series is starting off, which will each individual who will be a part of the 5 in control of the country and stuff like that, they will each have their own issues, their own missions, their own struggles, and you will get to see them in their lives, you know. So you'll really get a chance to connect to the 5 people that's going to be focused talking about in the We Five running the country.
Excellent. And we can't give away too many details yet, but
Yeah, can't go away.
Right. So we're looking for it to be available to us for viewing, hopefully in the fall. As we said, we are humbly expecting that. It's going to be amazing. What could you tell people in your position now, with being an author and an actor? What kind of advice would you give to folks who are looking and saying, you know what, his life sounds amazing to me. I love everything that he does. I want to do that. What would you say to them, Chad?
Well, I mean, just especially just during this time of COVID and stuff, where people have been who have been forced to, give up a lot of extracurricular things that they've done, be a little bit more homebound. It's actually been a time as far as for people to sit and concentrate on the important things in life, like family around them and health and time to just, concentrate on where you're at, in the grand scheme of things, rather than being going here and going there and concerts here, going to work every day. You all of a sudden had a reality check as far as our fragility. And a lot of people have been writing during this time, and there's so much talent and so many things in the works here in the upstate that if anybody is wanting to get into this, especially with the ease now as far as Zooms and such and email, and it's literally just reach out and express interest, and you'll find that there's an entire world of things going on all around you that you could partake of.
Excuse me, I'm coughing because it's raining cats and dogs, and it's causing my allergies to go crazy. So
everybody's been suffering with them, I'm sure, for the past weeks.
I'm telling you, but I'm so glad that you were here. Do come back, and I want to, as the film or the series progresses, I want to hear more. I want to hear updates, and I hope that everybody picks up your books at Amazon.com. And I hope I'm curious to see the next. And as that becomes a movie as well, that's going to be super exciting.
I am looking forward to that. I will play a small cameo appearance in the film, but that's the extent of what I want to be in it, because I'm more excited as far as being behind the scenes and then watching my literary come to screens.
Excellent. You're out here doing amazing things. I adore you. I think you're a fantastic human. And I love the camaraderie that you have on the set with all of your team for We5. I know you were very gracious and had me come and be a part of an evening. And I thank you for that. I got the opportunity to meet some really fantastic people. And I encourage all of our viewers to follow every one of you. Make sure they find, Chad Dudley on social media and follow the projects that he's doing. Make sure that you guys tune in and stay tuned for We5, which all the details will be coming soon. Last words for this time. What do you think?
Yes. I mean, in other words, just stay tuned.
Yes.
Joanne, thank you so much for having me on, and thank you so much to your listeners and your subscribers and your viewers and everything. So I wish everybody well.
Thank you so much for coming. I will talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye. You guys, he's amazing. He's wonderful. The entire cast, is wonderful. Of course, Eric Roberts, Eliza Roberts are in this. So many people are involved in this production. Chad Dudley, though, an actor for many, many years, a novelist. Make sure that you go to Amazon.com and pick up his books. You can also check with your local library because all of his things are available there. I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye for tonight. But until next time, my loves, please be sure to be kind and loving. And above all, please be humble.